ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. ॐ. Dear friends, welcome to the Geeta, 21st shloka, that is about Nirashir Yatachittatma. The overall context is about the Jnani Karma. Jnani Karma means we have been seeing a sort of riddle, that is, somebody is doing some action but it is not counted as an action. Somebody is not doing any action but it is counted as action. Karmanya karmayah pasyed akarmanisha karmayah. And in elaboration of that, we have been seeing some 3 or 4 more shlokas which are talking about the activity of a realized person. Whatever may be the action of a realized person, that is actually not counted. And I was explaining it, Nirashihi. I said Nirashi is somebody who doesn't have any desire, because the desire is there only in the case of a limited person. Desire will not be there in the case of if somebody who has identified with that infinity. And in that context only I was telling about the need for Anusandhanam. Anusandhanam means whatever we study in Vedanta, we have to apply it to ourselves. Unless we apply it to ourselves, that is the reason why there are so many Swamijis who are teaching guided meditation. So this guided meditation is a means to make us apply what we have studied in Vedanta, apply it to our own selves and try to feel it. Unless we feel even a little, if we feel even a little, then we will see that yes, there is some sense in this. Otherwise, if I say that a man is identifying with the infinity, he may find it as nonsense. So that is the reason why I said people who study Vedanta should also listen to, maybe nowadays we have got so many talks, even on the YouTube. On the YouTube also, if you go and search for guided meditations, there are some guided meditations by some Mahatmas and even some other Western people also. Teacher who was a student of Ramana Maharshi and who is teaching guided meditation. His name is Mooji, 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 a wonderful teacher who teaches guided meditation. So like that, there are so many teachers who are teaching guided meditation. That is also necessary side by side, that is along with listening to Gita. If we are just listening to Gita without doing any sadhana, if we are merely listening to Gita, this will look like some sort of nonsense. So that is the reason why again and again I appeal to you to listen to some guided meditation also, so that you will have some feeling about it. You will realize, yes, what Krishna is saying is what is true. And when we say that so and so is a jnani, or so and so Maharshi was a jnani, and he was a realized person, Shuka Maharshi was a realized person, or Janaka was a realized person, then we will know what it was. Then so this says Nirashir Yata Chittatma, Yata Chitta Atma. Yata means totally under control, totally restrained. What is it? Chittam and Atma. What is Chittam? Chittam is Antahkarana. Antahkarana is the mind. This mind which experiences Sukha, Dukkha, I know this, I want that. Sukha, Dukkha. That is, it also, it enjoys. That is the enjoyer actually. Enjoyer means, I suppose I eat something, so I like it. I enjoy that, I have that feeling of Sukham. I don't enjoy it, I have that feeling of Dukkham. So the Sukha, Dukkha, etc. are felt by the mind. So that mind is, another name for the mind is that Chittam. And Atma does not mean that supreme soul here. Atma in this particular sense, Atma is referring to the Indriyas. So one who has Yata Chittatma means a person who has his mind and the Indriyas totally under control. So that is the meaning here. Yata Chittatma Tyakta Sarva Parigraha. Parigraha means accumulation. Parigraha is accumulation of wealth. Accumulating, okay, I am buying this, I am buying that, I want more and more and more and more, increasing the property. So that is parigraha. Tyakta parigraha means a person, on one hand, it is not possible for one person to keep on accumulating wealth and at the same time say that he is a jnani. So that is something which is a contradiction. So a jnani is somebody who is not having any such desire for all these things, no parigraha. So here we are talking about a jnani who has risen above that thing, and a person who has given up all these accumulations, parigraha, and shariram kevalam karma kurvan. And what type of karma is he doing? He is doing only shariram karma. We know the word shariram. Shariram means body. Shariram means relating to the body. Shariram is body. Shariram is relating to the body. So, Shariram Karma means what? That is just activity which is just enough for the maintenance of the body-mind complex. Just maintenance, because a jnani, he cannot totally ignore the body. After all, a jnani does not mean that he has to be like an avadhuta. There is no compulsion. Of course, at a very, very high level, a person may become an avadhuta. Avadhuta means a person who has totally shaken off all bonds and somewhat like an naga sadhu. I don't certify, I don't say that all Naga sadhus are realized persons, because I have not seen them at all. Unless I see, I cannot tell what is their level and all that. Maybe they may be having some powers, I have no idea. I have never seen them. But Avadhuta is a man. We find the case of Jada Bharata. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we find the case of that Jada Bharata. I think I told that story also earlier. So Jada Bharata, who is totally, absolutely not caring about his body. Just absolutely not caring, and somebody comes and then suddenly says, hey, yes, come here. You seem to be a very sturdy man. You are having a very nice body. So come and bear this palanquin, because this king has to be carried somewhere. The king has to be taken somewhere. So in olden days, because there were no vehicles, apart from Ratham, on good roads, chariots used to go. If the road is not good, if it is some sort of forest track, the chariot cannot go. So the king has to sit in some palanquin, and all these people, they had to carry that palanquin. So this man who was strong, he was called. So that, and he was a very great jnani. He was a very great jnani, and it so happens that Bharata himself teaches the same king. So a jnani, probably he is just not recognized also. He cannot even be recognized. He may be looking like a very, very ordinary man, sometimes a very stupid person also. So here, Shariram Karma, a person who is just doing enough work to maintain his body, that's all. Kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Na apnoti kilbisham means he is a person who doesn't get, who does not, who is totally free from samsara. He doesn't get the fruit of any action, and whatever actions he does, all the actions they become nullified, they become zero, and he is not bound by samsara, because there is absolutely no fruit of that action. So in this shloka we talked about a jnani who has given up activity. In earlier shlokas we talked about jnani who were doing activity for loka sangraha. That loka sangraha again is a very, very repeated word in Geeta. Loka sangraha means acting for the welfare of others. That is loka sangraha. Shloka number 21, we saw a person who is a jnani and who has given up actions. Now we come to the next shloka. Next shloka is also about the same what we saw in 21. The type of Swami or Jnani whom we saw in 21, the question will arise, how does he survive? How is he surviving? Because he is only doing Shariram Kevalam Karma. Sharira Yatra Matra Cheshtaha. That is what the commentators say. That is just for the existence of the body, for the sustenance of the body, for the maintenance of the body. Then how does he survive? In fact, when we see these descriptions, for a modern reader, it may be quite surprising. For a modern man, maybe particularly for a Western man, it may be totally surprising. It may be totally surprising and shocking to see the standards kept, standards which were prescribed for sages, standard which is prescribed for a jnani, standard which is prescribed for a realized person. And very often that is the reason why the Western people, they find fault with us. Find fault means they ridicule us. Not finding fault, they ridicule us, saying that it is Hindu rate of growth, they say. What is this Hindu rate of growth? When all other people are growing at a very, very fast pace, we grow at a very, very small pace. We are not much bothered. We are not very ambitious. Of course, till recently, probably it held good. Nowadays, our people are also ambitious. Our people are also progress. In the society also, in the society, nobody wants to, okay, if somebody says, okay, we'll come to Geeta, Bhashyam, etc., people may not be interested. People will be, on the other hand, people will be interested in buying some shares, spending the same time in some other activity, if possible, to build up wealth. So that sort of trend, it has come even in India. But that Hindu rate of growth is one word. So Hindu rate, why? That is because all through so many millennia, we have been reading Upanishads, we have been reading Gita, and we have been absorbing the message of the Gita, the message of the Upanishads, and this contentment, this trupti or contentment is something which is regarded as a very great virtue. When contentment is regarded as a very great virtue, then naturally contentment also is a sign of that sattva guna. Sattva guna is, along with ahimsa, etc., santushtaha, a person with whatever little available, whatever little is available, a person is santushta. Santushta means somebody who is extremely happy with what little he has. So that sort of thing, it is an aspect of sattva guna. In fact, all our literature means all our scriptures, Vedic literature, let me say, or Upanishadic literature, or the scriptures, they are basically sattva oriented, sattva guna oriented only. So they want that sattva guna has to be promoted in a human being. So Rajoguna, where it is necessary, it is there. Of course, Rajoguna is not totally ruled out, because if a king, if he does not have Rajoguna, he can't protect the society. So there should be a good combination of Sattva-guna and Rajoguna. And for a majority of the people, for the ordinary people, there should be Sattva-guna, predominantly Sattva-guna. So for promoting Sattva-guna, they have been talking about all these things through various Puranas, Itihasas, take whatever story. In all these stories, we talk about this contentment only. So that is the reason why we are being ridiculed for this Hindu rate of growth, because the Sattva-guna, in other words, Sattva-guna is being ridiculed. So anyway, so now the next shloka is also about such a yati means such a great sage who is living such a simple life. And what is his life? I will read the shloka, 22nd. Yadruchala bhasantushto dvandvatito vimatsarah samasiddhavasiddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. Yadruccha labha santushto, that is, he is somebody who is yadruccha labha santushtaha. Again, this word santushti is there. Santushti means extremely contented, extremely contented. How? He is not a very rich man. Yadruccha labha, somebody comes and then gives some food. We are talking about an ordinary realized person. We are not talking about a VIP realized person, but an ordinary realized person. This ordinary realized person, what is he? Yadruccha labha santushtaha. This is somebody, commentary says, Sanjata alam pratyayah. Commentator says, Shankaracharya says, Sanjata alam pratyayah. He is somebody who has that alam, that word alam. Alam means enough, enough, enough. There is a word called alam. Alam means, in Sanskrit, it means enough, enough. It is avyaya, it is an indeclinable word. It says enough. Analam, when there is no alam, it is called analam. Analam means fire. The word anala in Sanskrit means fire, because the more you pour, the more it burns. The more you add, the more it burns. You put something in fire, the more it burns. So that is how it is called analam, because there is no alam pratyaya in that. It does not say enough, enough, enough. So, but a human being, a person who has got this sanjata alam pratyaya means a person in whose mind this idea, as it is enough, that idea has come into his mind. That idea has entered his mind. So he is that yadruccha labha santushtaha. And he makes no conscious effort to make money. He doesn't make any conscious effort to even earn his livelihood. We are talking about such a person. He doesn't make any conscious effort at all, even to get some food. Somebody comes and offers some food. Okay, he accepts that. Yadruccha labha santushtaha. Dvandvatitaha. Dvandvatita, of course, Dvandvatita, for example, he is beyond this Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, etc. And also, suppose somebody offers some food, he doesn't evaluate, he doesn't say, no, it is very, very tasty, so this curry is not that good. So he doesn't evaluate, he doesn't say this is so good, it is not so good, etc., etc. I like this particular halwa which you sent, and I don't like this particular thing. So he doesn't make any sort of Dvandvatita. He is beyond, he doesn't make any sort of remarks, and he just, it doesn't mean that he consciously avoids. His mind is not on that. His mind is not on that. He simply accepts whatever food it is there. Dvandvatitaha. Vimatsaraha. Matsaraha means matsaryam. We know the word matsaryam. Matsaryam means jealousy. And how does jealousy come? Jealousy come only when you are comparing yourself with another man. You are comparing one with the other. So your son is in so-and-so class, your son has got so-and-so marks, and the neighboring person has got some other distinction or something like that. So, okay, this is, of course, that is a excusable matsaryam. There may be some other matsaryam. Some other matsaryam is, okay, you are comparing with somebody else in terms of wealth, in terms of handsomeness or beauty, whatever it is. So that is Matsaryam is, it comes because of comparison with somebody else. So you feel that, oh, somebody is having so much of money, I am not having so much of money. That is, it leads to jealousy. So Vimatsara is one who is beyond that Matsaryam. Why? It is not as though he has practiced it over a period of time and then he is consciously practicing it. It is because of his awareness. It is because of his awareness of the knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman means what? When he is able to look at the whole world as Brahman, when he is not able to see any distinction between X and Y, then there is absolutely no comparison. He doesn't make any comparison. He doesn't make any judgment. He doesn't do any gradation of people. There is no question of gradation of people. He doesn't say, okay, he is like this, etc. He doesn't evaluate and he doesn't do gradation of people. So when he does not evaluate and does not do gradation, then where is the question of Matsaryam? Matsaryam arises only when he is comparing himself with somebody else. So I am staying in a poor ashrama and somebody else is having a very rich ashrama. So some other Swamiji is having some Benz car and I am not having a Benz car. So that becomes Matsaryam. So this sannyasi is a very ordinary sannyasi, somebody like Ramana Maharshi who never wanted any car. And he is Vimatsaraha. There is absolutely no jealousy because he doesn't evaluate. Vimatsaraha. Then Samaha Siddhau Asiddhau cha. Siddhi and Asiddhi, here it is referring to not to some Siddhi. When we say Siddhi, somebody like Anima, Mahima, we are not referring to those Siddhis. Anima, Mahima means somebody suddenly becomes very tiny and somebody becomes suddenly big. That is Anima, Mahima, Garima, etc. Though those, we are not referring to those Siddhi. Siddhi means some attainment. Some food. Here, basic requirement is food here. Here, the commentators also say, Siddhau, Asiddhau cha means, suppose he gets some food one day, and Asiddhi, some other day he doesn't get any food at all. So, if you see the stories of Buddha also, in Buddha and in the Buddhist literature, we come across such things also very much. In fact, Geeta can also be read along with some of these Buddhist works. For example, Buddhist works, for example, there is a text called The Path of Purification. Vishuddhi Marga. They say Vishuddhi Magga, they say Vishuddhi Magga. Magga in Pali is Marga. Marga in Sanskrit becomes Magga. Vishuddhi Magga. That Vishuddhi Magga, if you read, what all you find here, you find examples also there. In fact, it is better even for a teacher. Suppose if I read that Vishuddhi Magga more closely, probably I will be able to give better examples. So anyway, I also advise you to read that. So Samaha Siddhau Asiddhau cha. That is, if he gets some food one day, he is not elated. If he doesn't get food one day, he is not disturbed at all. Samaha means he is equal. He is not bothered about, his mind is not on that at all. Samas Siddha Vasiddhau cha. And in fact, these things which he is describing, it is something which is very, very difficult to attain. Very, very difficult to attain. And we very rarely come across such a Swamijis. We don't know. In fact, I do not know whether such Swamijis, maybe somebody like Ramana Maharshi and somebody like Nisargadatta Maharaj must have been like that. Maybe even now some Mahatmas may be there, we do not know. So, Samas Siddha Vasiddhau cha, Siddhau Asiddhau. When we combine those two, Siddhau plus Asiddhau becomes Siddha Vasiddhau. Siddhau Asiddhau cha, Krutvapi. Krutvapi means he is not performing any action. Then why he is using that word Krutvapi? Krutvapi means he is accepting some food. After all, he is accepting some cloth maybe. If you read Bhajagovindam we see Charpata Panjarika. It is also called Charpata Panjarika. That is, he just takes some rags, somebody throws some rags on him and he just puts on those rags and then he is happy. So it does not mean that a jnani has to always wear rags, but Bhajagovindam describes the level of contentment of that particular jnani. Bhajagovindam does not recommend that all of us should wear rags, but it is referring to the highest level of jnani, how that jnani behaves. And it again tells us, at least absorb something at least. If we may not be able to go to that level, absorb some little bit of contentment. So here Siddhau Asiddhau cha, Krutvapi, even accepting whatever it has come to him. In fact, there is a word called Ajagara Vritti, Ajagara. In fact, another commentator called Shankarananda has given this word Ajagara, Ajagara Vritti. Ajagara means it is a python. What does a python do? Python does not make any effort to go and search for food. Suppose some animal comes near it. some animal comes near it, it just picks up and eats, and then lies down there only, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And again after some long time, some other animal comes, it just picks it up and then eats. So ajagara vritti means something which comes to you, you take. Of course, it may or may not be a great example, but then ajagara vritti is a word which is also used in Vedanta. Vedanta texts, they use that word, but Python nowadays, we don't think it is a good thing. So ajagara vritti is somebody who is content with whatever little is available. So, na krutvapi na nibadhyate, such a person is not bound by the result of his action. So, that is the meaning of this shloka. We will continue tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.